Now, our next theme is from pilots to production, driving Web3 enterprise adoption. Our speaker is Dr. Navjit Dhaliwal, the founder and CEO of Iagon. Coming from the medical background, he recognized the urgent necessity for secure and private data solutions that keep sensitive data confidential, which led him to create his company, Iagon. Well, please welcome Dr. Navjit Dhaliwal.
Hello, everyone. Everyone can hear me well. So I come from a healthcare background. My name is Navjit Dhaliwal, and I realized early there was a big need or lack of data privacy, data compliance in my field. And I started to tackle this problem with Iagon. And as you can see, and since I've started with that, I've lost a lot of hair. So I've been working at it for a long time, since 2017, and trying to get adoption since then. And that's through Cardano's vision of, banking the unbanked, getting people using the platform. And that's what we're going to be explaining today, and how we accomplish our vision in terms of pilots to production. So we're going to be talking about how we've had success in our platform and how we've progressed that to materialize into enterprise adoption. So in general, what Iagon is an Airbnb for storage and compute. We solve many problems. Of course, a few of them are listed up here, which is idle capacities that are lying around, a lot of waste of resources, security, data leaks happen worldwide every few weeks. Compliance, there's a big question about data compliance when GDPR became relevant in 2018, which is a European data regulation law. And since then, a lot of governments have tackled these regulations. And cost, of course. And there's a big cost right now, especially with Google, AWS. There's a big heavy cost, and we're trying to decrease that cost by 80%. And I'll tell you how, but we'll first tackle the enterprise adoption part. So enterprises know Web3 has potential to reshape trust, security, and ownership, but most never get past pilots. Our mission is to change that. So what that means is basically a lot of Web3 here in our industry talks about adoption, but it never really materializes into something productive, very rarely. And I'm going to explain how we were successful in onboarding some of big enterprises like Worth Group, like Hamburg Volksbank, like a Fortune 50 company. We are designed for enterprise. We're designed also for everyone and built for everyone. So we're building an enterprise-grade cloud service which has a lot of attributes. One is distributed network. It has sharded encryption, sharded data, and also encrypted data. One-click compliance. You have full control of your data. So just like in, for example, traditional, the Bitcoin vision and how you control your own funds, kind of the vision of Satoshi, your keys, right? The same thing here where you control your own data. And data, in terms of regulation, is very on the same line in terms of the vision of Satoshi, where in DeFi, the compliance is opposite, where it's kind of going against like you control your keys. There's centralized exchanges, you have to offload to a bank, and they're trying to make stable coins that are government controlled. So going exactly against DeFi. In data, it's completely different because compliances are built around to protect your data and give you complete sovereign control, and they're in favor of you controlling your own data, you controlling your own keys. So we've been attracting a lot of enterprises through our patent compliance and value prop. And I won't bore you too much with this because I'm going to explain this later as well. But this is just you guys a brief summary of what we're trying to accomplish with enterprise adoption, why enterprises are organically approaching us, because we have IP security, we focus on compliance, and we have a great value proposition in terms of cost effectiveness, security, and privacy. As I explained in the previous slide, these are kind of granular thoughts on how these enterprises are looking at Iagon. So once they come to us, they come up with these problems that are in different industries, different verticals, and we're able to solve these through small talks and small conversations. Decentralized infrastructure, which is also programmable in terms of smart contracts, and it's real-time audits, meaning that you can track the real-time auditability of the data, and it's very cost-effective. You save up to 80% on distributed storage and compute compared to centralized solutions. The most successful partnerships start not with a pitch deck, but with a conversation. And I talked briefly about this. We've been getting organic interest from enterprises, not because of our pitch decks. It's just how we conversate with them. We talk with them about what their problems, what their needs are, build a relationship. Worth Group, we had a relationship built over 1 year. The Fortune 50, still building a relationship almost 2 years now. Hamburg Volksbank, only a few months. But as we progress and get more enterprises onboarded, this is something we can showcase to the next enterprise that talks to us. Hey, we are working with these guys. We are working with these guys as well. And this develops some trust. And in Japan, for example, there's a lot of that in terms of developing trust. And it takes a long time to build that trust. But once you have that in the initial going, you develop these relationships, it's a much easier way to get to using the platform. So we demonstrate basically our value prop and how it kind of solves their issues, and we create a productive relationships with the partners. We want to make sure that we're solving a problem for them, not forcing them into a direction that they don't want to go to. And we display that viability through, in terms of production and showcase that in real time when we go to production. And that's just explaining the process, what I explained previously. We defining the scope, and then we set success criteria in terms of what will it take for them to adopt Iagon. We design a pilot based around that success story, and then we expand the scope if they like what they hear and they want to go into a different direction. And then we measure what the benefits might be after we do that. And then we test the integration and see, does that first scope define, or the set success criteria define what's tested? So this is how we've been able to onboard companies like Worth Group. So Worth Group, if anyone doesn't know, is a Fortune 500 out of Europe. They have 30 billion yearly in income. They will be speaking with us at Cardano Summit in November, which will be a joint presentation. So what we're doing with Worth Group is tokenizing IP assets. So they work with companies like Porsche, GM, all these big car manufacturers where they produce parts, 3D parts. The problem that they had was trying to monetize that blueprint, being able to give it to a third-party shop and being able to understand, okay, is that the number of prints that they did? So what we can do with decentralized storage and blockchain is limit the number of prints that are associated with that blueprint. So we're creating a whole new industry vertical, meaning that we're creating a whole new revenue stream for this industry, which Worth Group believes to be a $50 to $100 million industry within the next 2 years. And we expect that to launch by the end of this year. We're also working with Hamburg Volksbank, which is associated with Reef Data directly. And through Reef Data, we will be working with them. So Hamburg Volksbank manages a lot of client assets, 4 billion plus. They also have a lot of data, sensitive data for clients. And basically, what they want is to offload that user data in a compliant way so they don't face any litigation if that user data is lost. So they want to give full sovereign control of that data to the user in a nutshell. And then we have the Fortune 50 company that I talked about earlier. So what we're doing with them is they have a lot of idle capacities around the world that are a liability on their books. So these assets, for example, are storage and compute. And what they wanted to do was monetize that somehow for not just them, also for their business partners. And this allows them to gain kind of a revenue on their books instead of a liability. And if that pilot is successful, what they're going to be doing is creating a full private distributed network, which will allow it to be monetized as well, meaning that they can offer this private distributed cloud to the laptops they produce globally. So they can have a cloud on their laptops that is a distributed cloud. And that's a powerful thing to say, and these relationships take time. So traction is earned, not given. What's been the key difference maker? The key difference maker is we've been very clear with our message. We haven't gone with the pitch deck first. We've always tried to understand the problem. And for example, the 3D printing, we didn't know that industry until Worth Group came to us with their problem. They said, hey, is this possible to solve this through distributed storage and blockchain? And we said, yes, it's possible. This is how we do it. And this is something that we didn't force down them, hey, this is kind of our pitch, this is what we're doing, and this is what you should adopt. We're taking the other approach where we're trying to understand that industry and what problems we could solve. If this doesn't work out, then we shouldn't be catering or pitching to them. We have a patented technology which is worldwide, including Japan. So this is also gives a surety to the enterprises in terms of IP security. It's not something that they can develop by themselves. We've been filing this patent and building this resume for a long time. These are the co-founders. We have a team of 31. We have Dr. Rohit Gupta, who's a former director of technology for Expedia, currently a senior manager at Google. Dr. Claudia Lima, former CTO of Huawei in East Asia, and currently teaching blockchain architecture for governments and institutions. And then Alad Harrison is a machine learning expert, economics professor, and myself, coming from a more entrepreneurial background. Thank you for listening in. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and thanks.
Thank you very much.